Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is going on, Canes fans? It is your boy, Matty Ice, here with Caniacs, and this is the Canes Callin' Pod. Caniacs, how do I sound?
Oh, you sound amazing. You must have that new computer.
Oh, that new computer swag, and that new mic, and the new headphones. I'm a podcast vet now.
That's it. We got to improve it for the people and improve it for the people. Because the last one, we had a little bit of issues, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. If I can write this off or what, whatever I can do.
I'm sure there's some tax guy out there that help us out.
I know. So, how are you feeling? We did not have a game this weekend. Total bummer. We also did not have an FSU ass whooping, so that was kind of disappointing. And we'll get into that later. But how was your weekend? How's everything?
Kind of did, but we didn't get to actually see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, I think we're gonna have different opinions on that, but yeah.
We'll talk about that shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah. We're gonna talk some NBA offseason and the draft. I think that the Heat got the steal of the draft. If I do say so myself. We'll talk a little FSU Clemson. That's what we already went over. We're gonna open the phone lines. I think we have a caller or two, so we'll see how that goes. And then we have and we have a new segment too. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for this one too.
Yeah, it's called Wardens Winners. We're gonna have our buddy Warden come on and basically tell us how to gamble, because both of us don't know what the hell we're doing.
I know a little bit, but I know that talking with the Warden in the past about some of the picks that I've had, he's gave me some good insight. I have pocketed a little bit, and that's what we're hoping to bring to all the fans out here, because a lot of people are into the gambling. I'm getting into it more. It's legal online in a lot of states, and becoming more legal this year in a lot more states. So why not bring the people what they want? So we're going to have him come on, give us a 3-game parlay that he is actually going to be betting on himself. So it's not like he's just feeding you a line. He's actually going to go down and put money on it himself. So I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah. We also are going to do our pick'ems week 2. We got to see the results, who's leading. And then I was kind of thinking about this too. We kind of got to get like a friendly wager going or something. We got to figure out what we're going to do for that.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
But
because I got to give a shout out to my boys out in Hyderabad, India. We have 13 listeners out there in Hyderabad, India. There's 11.1 million people out there, and we appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get a lot more.
I know we're making our way up there, man.
We are. Well, we did kind of bet on an Indian, not bet, but we did have a pick 'em on an Indian cricket game. So let's see how that works out.
Yes, we did. So just getting into it a little bit here, I kind of wanted to start with the NBA free agency offseason / draft.
All right, one thing real quick.
Yeah.
I want to thank Coach Rick and Bob Conley for calling in last week.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, Honest Bob and Coach Rick, Coach Rick gave us a lot of good insight, gave us insight that things we wouldn't have thought of, right? Right. So really appreciate him. And then Bob's brought in all those stats that, bless him for doing all that research.
Right. It's on his lunch hour.
On his lunch hour too, man. The guy's got to eat and he's getting stats, man. Come on.
He's a stat fiend.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready to go do a 305 check-in?
Yeah, let's do it. So, big news today, Caniacs. Bam Adebayo re-signed today, 5-year extension.
Saw that.
Yeah, I believe, I want to say the amount was like $168 million or something like that.
Well in the 160s. I remember seeing that.
Yeah. Well worth it in my opinion. There's a lot of people that are saying that are worried, because, how does this affect us getting Giannis, which, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, like, I think you gotta, if it was any other front office, I'd be worried. But I mean, when it's Pat Riley, it's like, come on, he's gonna work it out. He's gonna move some money. That's what they do.
Well, question: how do you think this is going to affect Giannis? I mean, he wasn't supposed to be, or even thought about coming till like next year, right? Isn't it when his
So
contract is up or something?
yeah, so he's under contract one more year. But the whole thing is he's eligible to sign an extension for a supermax deal. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you can only do that if you've been with the team like a certain amount of years. And so he's eligible for that. But the whole argument is like, well, they were kind of waiting on re-signing Bam, and the Lakers were kind of waiting to re-sign Anthony Davis because they wanted to see what happened,
Uh-huh.
because basically now that they could have re-signed Bam at the end of next year, or like extended his contract at the end of next year, and that would have made room so they could have signed Giannis too, because they had the bird rights of Bam Adebayo. So that's like what the
Oh,
whole
okay.
yeah. So that's
I see
kind
what
of
you're saying.
how everything comes into play.
But they should be able to make room next year, right? To add Giannis if they need to.
So I mean, they could do a sign and trade. They could, I mean, they could probably just make a trade happen too. I know they have
Okay.
Iguodala's on the team still under contract. I think he's at like 15 mil and stuff. So I mean, it just depends on what they want to do.
Gotcha.
But let's talk some. Let's talk some more Heat. They re-signed Dragic 2 years, 37.5 million. The one that kind of surprised me was they re-signed Myers Leonard for 2 years, 18 million. I was kind of confused by this just because, I thought that there was a lot of other free agents that they kind of could have looked at before, but I mean, it seems
But I mean,
like
he's part
everyone,
of the Heat. He's already part of the
yeah,
Heat culture, though, right?
yeah, I think that's what it kind of came down to. I mean, I would have liked to see it a little bit lower of a contract, but I mean, because I mean, you look at it, the Lakers signed Montrezl Harrell for the same amount, and Montrezl Harrell was a sixth man of the year. Like, you just got
Understood.
I mean,
Understood.
obviously it's apples to oranges in some regards,
Hmm.
when you take everything else into account, um, but I mean, what I did like is they signed Avery Bradley, who former Laker, who he's a really, really good defender. He's really big on the defensive side. So I think he's going to be big for them this year, along
Okay.
with Mo Harkless too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a Laker roster guy, but I'm going to agree with everything you say because I trust you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of how it is, right? I'm the basketball guy. It's okay. But the one thing I did want to kind of go over, like dive
Hmm.
into a little bit, is the NBA draft. Heat had the 20th pick, and they chose Precious and Shua. I don't know if I'm butchering the hell out of his name, but
Probably,
probably he was out of
but it
Memphis.
won't be the first one.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's a Choa. I don't know. Anyways, he's out of Memphis. I watched a few Memphis games last year, and then recently watched some highlights just because I wanted to see, what I was, what they were getting. And man, I gotta say, like, there's a lot of talk of him being the most athletic player in the draft, and I think that's completely true.
Okay.
He was someone like I said, overall, I think he easily could have, like, should have been a top 10, just because of his athleticism. If you watch him play, he's able to set a screen and he like takes off immediately. Like he's able to stop and go at like such a rapid pace. It's like really insane for how big he is.
So is he going to be a bench player, you think? Or is he eventually going to
Yeah,
be a
I
starter?
mean I mean if he was on a bad team, I think he could start. But I mean I think he is a little raw in some regards. Like I said, he's 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan, and
Okay.
he kind of plays a three. I think he could play the 4-2. I think he matches up like next to Bam really well. He's a versatile defender because of his athleticism. And the one thing I did notice for how big he is, when he gets to the basket, like he can adjust his body like pretty well to contact. So like take contacts pretty well and kind of like shift angles like in midair. And like that's
Hmm.
hard to do when you're 6'9". Like that's really
That's
hard to
some
do.
freaky athleticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the two areas that he could improve in, one of them is his outside shooting. There's a difference between having the ability to shoot the three and being a consistent 3-point shooter. And I think that that's something he can work on. He's someone who has the ability to shoot the three, but he just needs to be more consistent from it.
Right. So you just
Um,
got to work on that a lot.
yeah. And I think the other last thing is he can work on his touch. I would say like 5 feet, like outside the restricted area and like outside the
Hmm.
key. I noticed like he had a little bit of an issue like in that regard, which those are tough shots to hit just because of the angle and like you can't really use the backboard as much. But I think those are two areas like if you're a basketball player, you can improve on those if you're just willing to, put in the work. So I think the future's bright with him.
So he's definitely going to come in and help with the defense because if I'm not mistaken, that they desperately needed some defense help last year.
I think that he'll for sure, like with Jay Crowder leaving, we didn't even get into that, I don't think, because Jay Crowder left and Derrick Jones Jr., I think he's someone that can come off the bench and play.
Okay.
And I think he'll make an immediate impact, whether I'm not saying he's going to like average double digits or whatever. I'm just saying like he has the ability as an athlete to make a difference, at least on the defensive side.
Good, because it's very much needed.
Oh, yeah. In regards to the Heat front, I think that's pretty much like everything. We covered everything. What do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about the topic of the weekend. Saturday's game, FSU versus Clemson.
Okay.
Now, when I first heard about it and read about it, of course, I was like, FSU, they running scared, blah, blah, blah. They didn't want to get that butt whooped, 80-0.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
So let's just like go over the facts first before we get into like, who did what, who said what. Mm-hmm. So Clemson arrived in Tallahassee, right? Friday night. Mm-hmm. So from my knowledge, the teams test for COVID 2 times a week themselves, right? Mm-hmm. The third test is done by a third party on Friday, and then I think they either get the results on Friday. Is it Friday night or no? Probably like Saturday morning. And so they found out, hey, this offensive lineman tested positive, and he traveled with the team. So he was around the team, and the other thing too is like that people aren't really mentioning. He tested negative the week of like the 2 other tests, but he was symptomatic.
Correct.
He was symptomatic. Right. And he was around the team. So that's the
Correct.
big thing.
And then
too.
As soon as they found out, they sent his butt back on a plane and sent him back out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? But at that point, it doesn't really matter, right? Because, he's been around the team.
Well, you would think so.
Yeah.
But wasn't there a golden boy, had COVID, was on the sidelines of some games, and they still played?
Oh, are you talking about Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, remember when he had the COVID, but he was on the sideline for the ND game.
I believe that there's like a rule. Like, I think he had tested negative, but like you have to, like, I could be completely wrong on this too. He tested negative, but there's some like NCAA rule that like you have to sit out a certain amount of days because they don't know how COVID affects, like your body, right? Essentially. Right. So it wasn't because he didn't still have COVID necessarily. He was just out because of that NCAA thing.
Right. Now, the whole argument was that the two physicians for Clemson and for Florida State, they couldn't come together on, they couldn't agree on the COVID issue. Mm-hmm. My understanding from what I heard today was the lineman did test. He did practice. They did send his butt home as soon as it came out. Nobody else tested positive. They've played before with other kids on the team, not just Clemson, but there's been other cases of other teams having systematic kids practicing with the team and all, and then they don't show up for the game, and then the team still plays. So It's not like it's the first time this has happened. Now, I didn't do the research. This is just what I've heard, and I want to say it was in the one of the Florida State. It's either in one of the Florida State conference calls or the Clemson conference call with Dabo is where I heard all this, and it was from a reporter was asking these questions. So. Yeah,
I think it'll all come down to this too. So they're possibly rescheduling the game to I think December 12th is the tentative date. If FSU ducks them then I'll consider that like, oh hey, okay, like they're ducking them. But
Dabo's already said. You got to fit the bill to $275,000 or $300,000.
Okay, we can get into that. That's the most bullshit I've ever heard. Just because Like,
Hold on.
no. But how much money do you
Go
think
ahead.
FSU lost? They were supposed to have 17,000 fans. Like, you don't think that they would have lost more money? That's like probably like around $1 million or so if you look at everything
Understood.
that generates.
Right, but Florida State's already came out and said they can't even afford to keep some of the sports now. They've lost like $20 million or
Yeah.
something like that.
So you don't think they would want to do this? And that's my thing too. They already know they fucking suck. They're horrible.
True.
Like, you really don't think that they wanted to play, like, that they were scared of that? Like, everyone knows that they're like in the fucking dumpster. It's a dumpster fire.
Or
Like,
it's a total fire.
huh? Yeah,
It's
exactly.
total dumpster fire.
Exactly. Everyone was expecting Clemson to beat the shit out of them. Like, so it's like, why do you think they didn't want to play? That's the whole thing for me.
I don't know, but people are talking about, oh, there's no way. How much does it cost to travel from Carolina to Tallahassee? Blah blah blah. Well, you got to think about it. All the COVID issues have made everything double. You have to have more rooms at a hotel. You have to have more buses. You have to have. I mean, they had the charter flights. I mean, you have to space these kids. Young men. You have to space them in the plane. You have to space them in the buses. You have to space them in the hotel. I mean, so it's basically like you have to plan for like two teams going basically instead of one team. So
Yeah.
I mean the number could be a little inflated, but I mean I can actually see that number, not from a plane ride itself, but everything entails, the food, what I'm saying, for everybody.
Yeah. I get what you're saying too. Can I kind of get into one take two that really pissed me off? So there was someone I saw on Twitter that they posted like, oh, they're athletes, they're young kids, like this isn't going to affect them at all. And I'm like, come on, you don't fucking know that. Also too, there was a guy on Clemson, Xavier Thomas, who he tested positive for COVID in April. And he said that he didn't, huh?
No, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, he said he didn't feel like he was able to normally breathe until September.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know the long-term effects, and obviously it affected him all that time. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on it.
Right, and there was a player that I did read. I can't remember exactly what team it was, but now he has issues with his heart, a swollen heart, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that you gotta take note of. So
it's not so like black and white, right?
Right. Even I love seeing him beat down. I enjoyed it, but I mean, this is real life, people.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I fucking hate FSU too, man.
Exactly.
I would have loved to see their ass whoop. Oh man. So let's take a quick commercial break right now and come back with our caller.
Sounds good. Let's take calls at the backside.
Let's do it. All right, we're back from break. We're gonna get into these calls, so let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, on the line we got Nordy. Hey, Nordy, thanks for calling. What is it you want to talk about, my friend?
Man, I want to hit up. I want to talk about the players that are, considering the draft, who should come back, things of that nature. Because let me put it this way, man. Like, yeah, Jalen Phillips, man, his stock is rising, but I think
He gone.
I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it today, but Mel Kiper, didn't he come out with the draft board today?
Yes, he did.
He did.
But anyway, where was Jalen Phillips on that? Do you know?
Caniacs.
I did not get to that part. I got a couple phone calls in. The only one that I did see was Bubba Bolden is the 6th ranked safety to come out of this class, according to Mel Kiper. That's as far as I got. But if you want to hold on a second, I could look it up.
My point is, okay, so we for sure know Roche is gone because he's already accepted a Senior Bowl invite, so that's for sure. But here's my thought process. If King, if he decides to stay or go, I think that will create a domino effect, because if King stays, I believe a lot of these players on the board, think about going or staying. I think a lot of them will consider coming back. And man, he might be gone. but if he comes back next year, he's preseason All-American. He's preseason defensive player of the ACC. Like, he's like Nick Bosa, like, hype. And, man, like, he could potentially be a top 5 pick. And we all know, Greg is going this year, but so you got him. If he comes back, that is, a big boost to the defensive line, along with the incoming class we have. And then if you have Bolden come back, Bolden be done if he leaves, because his play has really gone downhill past couple games. Like, he's taking terrible angles. He's missing tackles. He's just not the same Bubba. I'm not sure what's going on with him. And then, if King comes back, man, that's our offense. So suddenly the Alabama game doesn't look so murderous if we have King. And, none of Michael Foley, he should come back. I mean, obviously he's had 2 good games, but he needs to show a consistent level of play if he really wants to shot the next level. And Brevin Jordan, man, Brevin Jordan's tough because I don't even know if he's a first-round pick right now because teams going to look at him and his injury bug, and they're going to probably shy away from that. And he's not going to test well. He's not going to test great at the combine and he's a little undersized, and he's 6'2", 6'3". But he knows he's a pure football player. And, man, like, honestly, I mean, the NFL draft and players going and leaving us hasn't been kind, so I can't expect the best, but, I got to expect the worst. But, man, if everybody comes back, besides Roche, even Jerry, the right tackle, he should probably come back. He's probably an NFL practice squad player at best right now. Because, it hasn't shown great things on tape, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think I totally agree with you on the De'Aaron King coming back. I think that would have a domino effect. I mean, I would think at least on the offensive side with like Jared Williams and Mike Harley. The only thing I would say, I don't know so much on the defensive side how that'll be. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think we all agree that Jalen Phillips is gone, right? Like for the most part.
For the most part, I would say he is gone. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I honestly I saw some things of people talking about Quincy Roche coming back. I don't think he's coming.
I can't hear what he's saying.
You can't hear what I said?
No, say that again, man. I broke up really bad.
That's all right.
Okay. So I was saying I think we all agree that for the most part that Jalen Phillips is probably gone, right?
Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
at the same time, I mean, he's only put 1 year tape on film. I mean, they can say the same thing for Greg Rousseau. But, but like I said, like if King comes back, that's a culture thing. And, who knows if the rest of the kids want to play for a championship. I mean, and plus you got the new NCAA rule coming next year of likeness. And I don't know if, there's some, if there's some local, local businesses that, sponsor, King.
Oh, I'm sure.
To make it a little more worthwhile for them to come back. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
I just think, man, like, I think Manny Diaz's biggest recruit this offseason is getting De'Aaron King to come back, man. Because, I mean, we don't have a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback committed. And Jake Garcia, we probably know he's going to USC. And, like, if King leaves, I feel like we're at square one again. But if he comes back, I think we really have this could be a real shot in the arm for the program. And, and it's on an upward trajectory.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
So let me ask you guys a hypothetical.
Go ahead.
Right.
So we're 7-1 right now. No games until December 5th, right? That's when we play Wake.
Right.
If we don't play, just hypothetically speaking, if we don't play another game this season, do you think it's more likely that people come back?
Yes,
Absolutely,
I do.
Because I think
Yeah,
because I mean, NFL teams are probably want to see, 10, 11 games on tape of some of these guys. And I don't know if 8 games is enough. And people like Reverend Jordan, he's played only like 23 games through his career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? 2020 is such a crazy season, but I just think
right.
I just think if people come back, man, there is no reason why we're not contender for the CFB playoff.
Oh, I agree.
There's no reason.
Because
and like I said,
go ahead.
That's
Sorry.
a shot in the arm to the program, man.
Right. Well, what I got to say about that is, if we don't get to play the rest of our remaining games, because I'm hearing talks about some of the bowl games are dropping off. I don't think the New York 6 bowls and all that, the big bowls, are going anywhere. Some of your small bowls, I'm sure, aren't going to play. There's just too much money involved in the big bowls. But I just don't think there's enough film for the wide receivers, Derek King, Jalen Phillips, yes. Bubba Bolden, I don't think so. I mean, granted, Mel Kiper's got him as the 6th best overall safety, but I mean, he can increase that with more games. I mean, he has to get the last couple games out of everybody's head, because that's what everybody remembers now. They remembered him. I got you, dog. And now he's the last couple games. He hasn't got anybody, dog. But there needs to be more on tape now. What's that?
He comes back, man. I mean, he's at least a second rounder if he puts on a full year of tape to know what if he plays his potential.
Exactly, and hopefully,
absolutely,
and hopefully, COVID to be, I won't say it's done, but let's just say better controlled, where we can actually have full games, back to normal regular seasons and everything like that. And then I do believe we'll have a great shot at Alabama. Granted, we won't blow them out, but I mean, I would feel a lot more comfortable going to the Alabama game, especially if King comes back.
Oh, no doubt, man.
But yeah, I think we got to have more film for these guys to declare. Just my opinion, but we all know how it happens in Miami's past with these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been kind, and I'm not Trajan Bandy and Jeff Thomas have no business going, but also the culture was bad, and it was a crappy season, and people probably wanted to get out of there. Probably, people thought Manny was in over his head. But let me ask you this: it's kind of off topic, but do you guys think Avante Williams will play corner?
I mean, I could see him playing in the slot. I think he has the ability to do that. I don't know if I could see him outside. That's just my opinion. But I mean, obviously, he's a super talented player, and I don't know about that. But I mean, I could kind of see him in that slot role, I think.
Avante in the slot role?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what they would do with James Williams too, because I think he's a Ray Armstrong clone.
Yeah.
Yes, me. He sure will be playing striker or linebacker, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that people are having discussions about him like being a defensive lineman or being a striker, I mean, I think that just shows like how gifted he is and how much of a difference he can make on the field, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But let me ask you this: Do you think the staff asked Amari Carter to come back?
Ooh. I mean, I gotta say this though. Amari Carter, though, the last 2 games, he's played pretty well.
He has.
They need to put him in the box, man. They should put him in linebacker, because that's if he had any shot playing in the league, that'd be his position. Because I feel like he's not very great in coverage, but he's a lot faster than what we got, in the front 7 right now.
He would have to figure out what he's going to do at the next level. I mean, do you think they'd put him in at a safety?
He's not getting drafted, though. He ain't getting drafted right now.
Oh, no, not right now.
Yeah, and then, people like Delon Scapes, God, I don't know what happened to that guy, but our guard play has been terrible. He needs to come back too, but I don't know. If the staff will ask him to come back because they might have better options with Jalen Rivers or
right. Well, you got
Walker
Donaldson, right?
I thought
Yeah,
isn't
Donaldson,
Scaife a junior? I didn't think he was a.
No, I think he's a
I thought
junior.
it was senior, maybe not, but
Well, let's look that
Yeah.
I don't
up.
know that interior of the offensive line has to get better because if you guys go watch, if you repeat the Clemson game, they blitzed the hell out of the A gap.
Right.
They just destroyed anything we had going, and we couldn't do anything because Gainer and Scaife couldn't handle it. And that kind of set the blueprint for other defenses. But as you can see, with Virginia Tech, we kind of started doing RPO a little more, and it's getting the teams off balance because our receivers are finally win our one-on-one matchups. But I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like guys like DeLone Scaife or like Amari Carter, Mike Harley, like the seniors that get a free year. I don't think. It depends what the NCAA allows. If we get 95 scholarships, 105, I think
Right.
that experience helps. But at the same time, you might have better talent come in behind them. So I don't know if you ask those guys to leave or you ask them to come back. I think a guy like Mike Harley would be great because I mean he's shown what he's actually capable of in his past couple games. But a guy like Amari Carter, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
and
either.
also too, you mentioned Amari Carter. Zach McLeod's a senior too. Like how do we?
That's another guy.
I don't see him getting drafted high.
No, I don't see him getting drafted at all.
No.
And I'm not sure, there's better talent behind him. He's, if they ever get Avery Huff going or, Sam Brooks, he's going to probably keep trending up. Corey Flagg. Bradley Jennings, he's getting a little bit. He's getting a little better. He is awful the first couple games, but he's improving, but he's still not great. But, they're still better than Zach McLeod. I'm really surprised how bad he's played. I'm all over the place right now, but he's just.
That's all right. One last quick question before we let you go. We're 7-1 at today right now. How are you feeling about the program?
I feel great, man. I mean, we're 6-7 last year. What else can you expect? I don't really think no one really expected us to beat Clemson. We don't have the depth that they do, especially on the offensive line. You saw that. If we had Greg on a D line, that maybe made a difference. But 7-1, I think Manny has done a great job. Like I said, though, it depends if we can keep Rhett Lashley, Derek King. I think if Derek King comes back, I think that makes things more inclining for Lashley. I think, those two can ride out on the sunset together with a great season next year. I feel like, we probably have Lashley 2 years tops, but Manny's made all the right changes. I know people are a little, skeptical about Baker, but I think Baker's doing the best he can with the personnel group he has. So 7-1, I'm feeling great. I don't really know what to expect on this Wake Forest game. I don't know if to expect us to come out sluggish, or fresh. It depends. But, the season ended right now, I feel great about things going forward. But like I said earlier, Manny's biggest job this offseason is recruit Derek King to come back. He's got a great class coming in, and I just think we need that shot in the arm as a program. So, that's my thoughts, guys. And
I totally agree.
I appreciate you guys giving me some time.
Hey man, anytime. You know the phone number. You call it anytime, my friend.
Anytime you want to talk, man.
And one more thing, just to make you a little happier on the way out. I did read on Twitter yesterday that there was just a random dude was on the Eric King's feed and said, hey, something to the effect of, are you coming back next year? We could use you for Bama, head to the championship game. and all he put was, all right, bet. So take that as you
Yeah,
will.
I saw that. I saw that.
I love it.
All right, Nordy,
Yeah,
I
I feel
appreciate
like-
you calling, man.
All right, man. Thanks for your time, guys.
Hey, anytime. You know
Have
the
a good
number.
night,
Call
man.
anytime, brother. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys.
All
Have
right,
a good night.
see ya.
Bye.
See you, man.
Thank you for calling, man. That was a great call.
Shout out Nordy. That was
Shout
awesome.
him out.
Calling in on the bye week, the double bye.
The double buy.
That's my question. Wait, so we got 2 bye weeks. Do they? I tweeted this earlier. Do they cancel each other out, or does that mean we're gonna be even worse against Wake Forest?
Probably come out better for Wake Forest.
Okay, yeah, that's how I'm taking it too.
'Cause these boys are hungry. They're
Yeah.
mad. They're upset. They got to sit at home.
Exactly. So next game is December 5th, hopefully, if it even happens, against Wake.
I have a feeling it will.
So yeah. So now we're gonna welcome on Warden, and he's gonna give us his picks. You ready for that?
Oh, let's do the Warden's winners.
Oh yeah. What is going on, Canes fans? We got Warden here for a brand new segment, revolutionary segment called Warden's Winners. So he's gonna give us we're doing a 3-game parlay. Is that correct?
Yep, 3-game parlay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Warden, what you thinking for this week?
So there's 3 specific games. I appreciate you guys having me on today. 3 specific games that I really like. The first game we're gonna go over Iowa State at Texas. Iowa State's 4-4 against the spread, so they're 500. Typical team right now with a lot of teams being at 500. Texas is 2-4-1 against the spread, and a lot of that has to do with I think they were overhyped coming into the season. Texas is back. Tom Herman. I don't think Tom Herman's that great of a coach. That might be my Ohio State bias coming through, but I do not think he's that great of a coach. Matt Campbell, though, is a great coach.
Mhm.
Iowa State has a good defense. I actually don't even think you need the points in this game. I think Iowa State wins outright, but 1.5 points. I'm taking the points just in case there's that last-minute field goal. Texas ends up winning by 1. The half point gets you that win to start the first leg of the parlay.
Oh, good. That's a good
So
one.
that's kind of the first start there. I think Iowa State plus 1.5. And then the next game is Clemson Pitt. I think this is a very intriguing game. The spread is 23.5. That's a huge spread. Clemson's only 2-6 against the spread, and obviously that has to do more of them having to cover 20+ point spreads throughout the season.
Right.
Pitt's 3-5-1. They have a lot smaller spreads to cover. But with Dabo's recent tirade against Florida State down in Tallahassee, Trevor Lawrence, the golden arm, coming back, I honestly don't think Pitt stands a chance. I think Clemson wins by 30. Pitt has a great defensive line. I think all of them get drafted eventually. They're going to play in the NFL. I just don't see it. I just don't see it this weekend. Clemson by 30+. And then our final game, which is a really big one for the Canes fans. I know you guys will probably be rooting for NC really hard to you guys sneak into the ACC championship game. But Notre Dame and NC 4-4, both of them against the spread. It's
NC
a
or
5.5.
UNC?
UNC.
Gotcha.
Yep. 4-4 against the spread. Notre Dame 4-4 against the spread. Notre Dame's plus 6-1 when covering the spread. So if you average that as out their games, they're a 6.1 point differential positive, which is good. So that's really good. That means obviously, they're getting that touchdown feel, and it's only 5.5 points. I think Notre Dame ends up beating UNC. I think UNC's a little overrated. They have that Mac Brown factor. Sam Howell's an okay quarterback. I think Notre Dame's good. They win by a touchdown. So we're looking at Iowa State getting 1.5 points, Notre Dame giving up 5.5, Clemson giving up 23.5 for a little bit of 5-1 action, almost 6-1, and a $25 bet will win you about $144.
Oh, that's not right. And you're actually going to be driving out to the casino tomorrow, right, to place this exact bet?
Yeah, I'm going to be heading over state lines. Got to gamble legally and responsibly over in Indiana, and gonna head over there and place this bet. And obviously we hope it hits, but hoping to come back with a winner. And obviously I'll do some more research, and hopefully next week I'll have another winner. Hopefully we start at 1-0.
That'll work. We appreciate that. Hey, Warden, we appreciate you coming on and giving us your picks, and can't wait to do this every week.
And Warden, where can the people follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, so on Twitter you can follow me at my handle. It's the Warden 4508. I talk mainly gambling, as you guys know, Call of Duty,
Mhm.
and other sports.
Yeah.
Huge Browns fan. So, and we love our Miami guys. Shout out to Olivier Vernon this week. So,
There you go.
but yeah, you can follow me there on Twitter, and hopefully we get a winner. And please follow the picks and don't fade. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Don't
So
fade. I love it.
there you go. So if you guys want to follow him on Twitter, let him know if you lost some money because of him. Just reach out to him.
Victory.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Well, appreciate Warden coming on because I need new ways to get more money. I'm trying to buy a place right now, so if I can make some money off some games, I'm ready, man.
All right. Well, how about now we to another break real quick, and on the end of that, let's start wrapping this bad boy up.
Let's do it. See you guys after the break. All right, we are back, guys. So some news came out about an hour ago, Caniacs. The Miami Hurricanes are ranked number 10 in the first playoff poll for this season. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I actually did watch it. The first college football playoff poll of 2020 came out tonight. And it might surprise some people that Miami was ranked number 10. I've heard on Twitter and heard on some other cat podcasts that the Canes ain't top 10 team. They're not top 15 team and this and that. But the committee thinks so.
Yeah. Well, I think what it comes down to is being ranked number 10 versus being the 10th best team in the nation, which I don't think Miami is the 10th best ranked team, and that's kind of what the argument is.
Okay, I get that argument, but my argument is the people who send the people to the championship game and to the playoffs think that Miami's a top 10 team.
And that we should feel good about that.
And we should feel good about it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just telling you I see their argument.
I get the argument, but here's another. But this is it. They're in the top 10, which is good because now, let's say we played the rest of our games, we do what we're supposed to do, we get everybody back, we do what we're supposed to do. Now we're easier to climb up into the rankings. Will we make the playoffs, the top 4? Don't know. But if we start off in the top 10 and we keep winning, we should not leave the top 10, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. When was the last time we've done that?
Yeah. Well, the past 2 weeks when we were winning, when we beat Virginia Tech and NC State, didn't we drop in the rankings after winning?
Right. Did we even play that day and we dropped?
No. So we dropped after winning against Virginia Tech and against NC State. So right. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here because and
then we don't even play and move up. 2,
I know.
3 spots?
So I think the goal should just be, don't play, and then we're gonna move up.
That might be the way to do it. Is not play these last 3 games, and by the end of the time, we might be in the top 4.
Exactly.
But yeah, just to round it off real quick. Alabama's number 1, Notre Dame number 2, Clemson 3, Ohio State 4. The only one I'm not okay with that is the Ohio State one. I think they need to prove a little bit more.
I'll tell Warden that.
Well, it's the truth. I understand that, but it's the truth. They need to play a little bit more. But it's Ohio State. I did watch the game against Indiana. Fields didn't look that great, but here's another thing. So they're all talking about, and this is going to piss off some UF fans, and I hope it does too. But they're all talking about Kyle Trask this weekend. Oh, he's an elite quarterback. He threw up elite numbers this weekend, blah, blah, blah. It was 300 and some. So Kyle Trask against the 0-6 Vanderbilt Commodores, he only threw for 3 touchdowns, 8 yards. Pardon me. Justin Fields played against Indiana, threw for 300 and some yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have a couple picks, though. But now they're saying that because Fields played so shitty and Trask played so great, that now Trask should jump Fields in the Heisman poll. Me? I don't think so. But that's just me. And that's the reason why I don't think so. It was the 0-6 Vanderbilt Commodores. He only threw 3 touchdowns. But, that's just me. I didn't watch the game. I just saw the thing. But, it's UF. Who cares?
Hey, it is what it is. Well, we have some business to attend to right now. We have to go over our picks from last week. Do you know how you did? Did you look this up or no?
I did not look this up.
Okay.
But sure you're going to tell me.
I will tell you. So as you may recall, we bet on, it was a college football game, it was a volleyball match, a hockey match that actually got postponed, a soccer game that actually tied,
Okay.
and then a cricket match.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
So we got 3 games to look at. The football game, Eastern Kentucky won, so you got the point for that. They
Keeping
beat
track
my,
of this, right? You're keeping track?
Yeah, I'm keeping track of it.
You better be.
They beat my Catamounts. I thought the Catamounts were gonna win. And then we both picked Baylor to beat Kansas State in women's volleyball. So we both got that one. Both got the point for that.
Nice.
And then Central Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Pakhtunkhwa. I don't know, man. I can't say it.
It's all right.
You had Central Punjab in that one, and I had Khyber, and Khyber won. So we are tied at 3-3.
And then there's a game that was tied, right?
Yeah. So like that one we picked the same team. So I mean, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter.
You're right.
Yeah, that was the Tripoli game, the soccer game, the Greek soccer game. But yeah, so I was kind of thinking maybe like, hey, we gotta come up with like some fun thing to do with this.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe like the winner gets to change the other person's Twitter photo to whatever they want, or something like that, maybe.
For how long?
Well, I don't know.
48 hours.
A week or two, yeah, a week. We got to do a week.
Let's go 5 days, Monday through Friday, midnight to midnight. How's that?
Okay, I'm down with that.
I'm down with that too.
So, getting into the week 2 picks.
Okay, hold on. Let's add something more interesting to that.
Oh God, okay.
How about if we have Twitter decide what photo is put on?
Oh, for each person?
Yeah. So if you win.
Okay, it's got to be like appropriate though, too, right?
Right. How about you pick like a couple? You pick like 3 things.
Okay.
I'll pick 3 things and let Twitter decide which one needs to be.
Okay. Sounds good.
Down with that?
Okay. I'm down with that. That sounds amazing.
Locked in gold.
Oh yeah. Okay. So week 2 picks. I'm ready for them. We are gonna start it off with my boys. We are doing cricket again. The Quad-e-Azam Trophy. It is my boys, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa versus Northern Pakistan. Who are you taking?
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with the Khyber people.
Oh, you taking my pick? What the hell is this? Okay. We got another men's hockey game. Hopefully this gets played. We got Ferris State versus Lake Superior State. Who you got?
Lake Superior State. I will go with them only because I was born in Detroit.
Okay. You're going with Lake Superior. This is going to be on Friday at 7:07 Eastern if you want to watch it. I'm going with Ferris State.
Okay.
Just to make things interesting.
Yeah.
Now we got another soccer match. Russian Premier League, Saturday 11 a.m. Eastern. We got Lokomotiv Moscow. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I just wanted to say it. And Akhmat Grozny.
Okay. Akhmat Grozny.
Akhmat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going with the Lokomotiv that's coming in hot.
Coming in choo-choo train, baby.
Choo-choo, motherfucker. All right. We got a new thing that we're going to be picking here. Two new types of competition here. We got UFC Fight Night on ESPN2.
Oh, yeah.
Prelims start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Main card is at 10 p.m. Eastern. We got Nate Manis, who's 12-1, versus Luke Sanders, who's 13-3.
Oh, man. I would go with Luke Sanders.
That's who I was going to go with, too. He is like, I saw a picture, and he kind of has like a man bun.
Right.
So I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully that's still up to date, because if he doesn't have the man bun, then I don't know if I would have picked him.
I got you.
Last one got for you. Rugby. The Autumn Nations Cup, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We got France versus Italy. Who are you taking?
Italy, of course.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm taking Italy too.
Because I love Venice.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm going there. Plus, I love pizza.
Oh yeah, I love pizza too. Pasta too. Fun fact though, I'm actually allergic to olive oil. So
Really?
yeah, a lot of the traditional like Italian places, yeah. So I love Italian food, but
I feel sorry for you, brother. Well, if I ever have
yeah,
to
it
cook you
sucks.
anything, you let me know because I use a lot of olive oil.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't be able to eat anything, dude.
Mhm. Yeah, I love
Oh
cooking in olive oil.
yeah. So I mean, those are all the pick'ems we got to see. I really don't want anyone to select my profile picture.
Oh, I have some good ideas too.
Yeah, I know, I do too. I'm just kind of worried because you can like do some edits and stuff.
What?
So
Who, me? Oh, that's funny.
Fucker over there. Come on, man. We know who you are.
I don't know what
Okay.
you're talking about, bro.
Oh man. So what are the plans this week? This weekend. We got another bye week. What are we doing here?
Well, I'm definitely not doing what you're doing. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you got going on? Because when you showed me that video, I couldn't believe it. That was amazing, bro.
Yeah. So as I said last podcast, my family, specifically me and my dad, are super into like decorating, like Christmas decorations, like lights and shit. So this year, we're like going above and beyond. So like we usually go to like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff and get the stuff like 75% off after Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, we're those type of people. Last year I showed up at like 5 a.m. when I knew that they were gonna do the 75% off. And
Wow.
shit, man, we got a lot of stuff to put up. So I'm gonna have to like put a video up on Twitter like once everything's done and stuff.
Yeah,
So-
because that little bit of what you showed me just from last year. that
Yeah.
You guys had. If it's double that what you told me this year,
Yeah, it's double the lights at least.
yeah, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be amazing, to be honest. Because you
Yeah.
have the whole sound and the lights and everything all going together, don't you?
Yeah, so we don't do like, because like a lot of places like they can get the lights to move to the music. We have some things that like kind of move to the music, but we like just playing the Christmas music and stuff too while the lights are on and stuff. I think
I
it
gotcha.
adds a whole feel, you know.
Understood.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it done, man.
I don't know, same man. It's
Yeah,
a lot of work, but
It'll be worth it. And plus, it's the season coming, and you get to spend time with your dad. I mean, that's priceless right there, anyway.
exactly, yeah, man. So, but yeah, what about you? You not doing too much this weekend or what?
My sister and a really good friend of mine that we went to high school with, they're getting married this week for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
So we're not going to have a big old thing like my daughter. I'm going to FaceTime it with her and stuff like that. So we got that going on Thanksgiving. Other than that, just going to eat, get fatter, and relax, watch some football, and enjoy another weekend of not having to stress about a Canes game.
Yeah.
How about
Nice,
you?
man.
You got any big turkey plans?
Not anything crazy. I mean, it's just me and my parents. I don't know if my girlfriend's gonna come over too. I might go to her house too.
That's always
But-
the best. Double dip.
Oh, I'm excited for like Christmas time. They make tamales, and I'm like, I helped them last year. We're doing it again this year. Oh shit, man, I'm so ready for that.
Yeah, there's nothing like fresh tamales. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, and it's like because they get like the masa, like that you use on the outside. They get it fresh from this one place, like that makes it, and like you get it, and it's like literally like fresh.
Right.
Oh my god, it's so.
Well, you're in
it's-
Southern California, and I'm
Oh.
just outside of Phoenix, so I mean,
Yeah. Exactly. So
Mexican food's
Yeah.
good.
yeah, man.
But anyways, well, you know what? That's all for today's episode of Canes Calling Podcast. We want to thank you guys all for listening and for the caller that joined us today. We want you guys to join us again next week. So make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen so you'll never miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe. We're on all major platforms, and we appreciate you guys. Really, we really do.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support. You know, we're obviously trying to get this thing going a little more, get more callers and stuff.
Get
But
the
yeah,
audio fixed. Can't wait.
yeah, it's gonna be nice, man. So
Let's wrap this bad boy up like a nice little present, and let's get on out of here for tonight.
put it under the tree. Let's do it.
The tree. All right, Canes fans, we appreciate you. Go Canes.
Peace.